Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy. Hi, dear ones. Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 289. We are getting so dangerously close to 300 episodes here on the House of Joy. I am so happy to be here today. I am Dr. Edie Wadsworth. In case you're new around here, welcome to the House of Joy. So happy to have you here. Today we're talking about summer, y'all. I love summer so much. I live in what you might call a summer house. You know how some houses just have a feeling of a certain season? Well, I live on the lake and I have a yard full of hydrangea plants that are blooming right now in the most spectacular way. I really have a summer house. My house comes alive in summer. So we are going to talk about summer today and giving yourself a little bit of a summer reset. So I love thinking about giving myself and my house a little bit of a reset. And we're going to talk about it today as it relates to midlife, because remember back when you were in school and it was getting close for the end of school to come and you couldn't wait for summer. Like I was one of those kids. I did love school actually, but I loved summer. I was usually heading to a summer camp. I loved going to the pool, just everything about summer when I was younger. I loved so much. And it seems like as we get a little older that we don't have that same, I don't know, we just don't have that same transition. We're not, stopping school, although sometimes our kids are. My little Tommy boy finished on Friday. He finished strong, I might say. I'm so excited to have a few months off of not getting up early and, to be honest, not doing homework with that little Tommy boy. So we are going to talk today about how to give yourself a summer reset. This is like your midlife comeback. I've been seeing that everywhere. And I think it is such a good phrase because people are always talking about their midlife crisis. I'm like, no, let's have our midlife comeback. So we're going to talk about how to give yourself a little bit of a reset today. Now, I have been living this for the past 10 days. I have had company for almost 10 days. They just left today, you guys. And I did cry my little eyes out. My grandbabies were here, all three of them. We had Stevie's oldest daughter, Savannah, who I claim as my own. And her and her husband, Tim, were here for 9 days with little Juniper. And then Taylor and Mary Kate were here with the boys on both of the weekends. We had the boys. We kept the boys for Grammy Camp the first weekend. And then they all came back and we celebrated Taylor's birthday this past weekend for Memorial Day weekend. It was so glorious. My girls are here. We didn't get to see our Katie Bug, but Emmy and Ellie are still here for a couple more days. And of course, we've got our Tommy boy who keeps us hopping. So it has been so incredibly glorious. But leading up to that, I kind of gave myself and my house a bit of a reset. And it was to me, it felt like such a great kickoff to summer, like such a great, kind of a little bit of a pause before everybody got here. And I was crazy, y'all. I was decluttering my house. I was bringing in fresh flowers. I was rearranging things. I was getting all the boys' toys, set up in the schoolroom. I moved a little table out of there so they could have the whole floor. I set a water table up. We had the sandbox ready. We just had so many fun, little different areas. We had a little bouncy house, like so many fun little areas for them to play. And same thing for like the food stuff. Like I, created this menu of all the fun things we were going to make, like all my favorite summer stuff. You guys, we had our shrimp boil yesterday. And I have to say, eating outside, shrimp boil style, craft paper down underneath us, The weather here hasn't been exactly the best hasn't been the best lake weather, but just breezy and a little chilly. And don't worry, we have been on the lake wake surfing in our wetsuits because it's been a little bit chilly for that. But for our shrimp boil last night, it was incredible. It's just beautiful weather, so breezy, gorgeous sunset. So I feel like I have been doing this for the past couple of weeks. I feel like, oh my gosh, if summer was just these past 10 days, it would have been glorious. And we're just getting started. So I want to help you give yourself and maybe your house a little bit of a reset for summer, a little bit of a transition. To me, it just kind of reminds me of that magic that I felt in the summer when I was younger, recreating that for myself and my family, just deciding to right here in the middle of the year and just deciding that I'm going to squeeze every ounce of goodness and joy out of these days. And I just want to live alive and awake and create amazing memories, which is what we've been doing. I can't even tell you how many times we sat on the porch this past week. I am like, man, I have gotten a whole summer full of porch time just in the last 10 days, and I can't wait for more of it. So if you've been craving a little bit of a change, if you know that you need a little summer reset, but you didn't know where to start, this episode is your invitation. And we're going to talk today about 3 powerful shifts that will help you reset yourself for summer. We're going to talk about leading yourself well, really reigniting your desire, and living your legacy now, which I've talked about a couple of times on previous episodes, but it just keeps coming back to me. So we're going to revisit that a little bit. So number 1 reset is to lead yourself well. Now, here's the thing. We are always waiting for someone else to make the plan, someone else to, plan the getaway, someone else to create the experience, maybe someone else to change. And I want you to decide that you're going to go first, that you're going to decide what you want to create, that you're going to plan the special day, that you're going to plan the getaway, that you're going to create the amazing experience for yourself. And I think, for myself, I find that I love my regular life. I mean, I love, when we're just in our regular schedule and I'm doing my work and, we're having our little life together here with, Stevie and Tom and I love that. But I also adore all the special things. And I created so many special times in these last couple of weeks. And I used to kind of wait for other people, I guess, or feel a little resentful that I was the one having to do it. And then so maybe I wouldn't do it. But I've just decided that this is my sweet spot. I love creating experiences for myself and for other people. And you don't need to wait to do that. Summer is such a good time to do that. Now, I like to do it in a way that makes it feel special. So we talked about this last week on the podcast. If you haven't listened to my Grammy Camp episode, please go back and listen because again, you could say to yourself, well, I'm just going to have my family over for dinner. Or you could say, I'm going to host a shrimp boil, or do something where the food feels special or the event feels special, or maybe, you borrow a bouncy house like we did, or, whatever. But I just decided like, I want these times that we're going to have together to feel really special. And, it really just requires a little bit of intention. A lot of the stuff that we did is, we're going to be eating anyways. So I just made the food extra special or made it, the presentation of it special. A few things that we didn't have, I borrowed, so whatever you need to do in your situation to make it feel special for you. So these are the ways that I feel like I have kind of given myself a little bit of a summer reset. So number 1 is, and this is kind of all under the heading of leading yourself well, but number 1 is I really start my mornings on purpose. So these last 10 days, I had kind of made myself a schedule and I'm like, okay, so this morning, this is what we're having for breakfast. And then I need to, feed the sourdough starter so that I can make bread this evening or whatever it was. I started my mornings really strong. I got a lot of my stuff done in the mornings, or at least I got myself like, on the right track for the morning so that I felt like, because I'm normally, up an hour, two, sometimes three, depending on what time Miss Edie wakes up. But I'm always up before everybody. So I love to use that time to give myself some good time. I will sometimes, take my coffee out on the porch and give myself a few minutes there, take some deep breaths or whatever maybe some journaling before I come back in. And then I will literally spend an hour just getting the house kind of set up, figuring out my food for the day, figuring out my plan for the day. I love kind of giving myself a plan for the day. And I notice that I've been doing this for a long time, but I notice it just really, really helps me set the tone for myself and the agenda for myself before it gets set for me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that you won't be thrown off your game or thrown off your plan. There were plenty of times that happened, but I love kind of setting the tone for myself, deciding what I want to create today, deciding what we're going to eat today, deciding what fun thing we're going to do today. I know when the little baby boys were here, I had myself a schedule. Like, this is the morning where we're going to paint our birdhouses, and this is the day where we're going to do Play-Doh for a while. So whatever it is for you, just creating some rhythm around that helps you kind of start. And for me, starting my mornings on purpose is such a way to do that. The other way that I do that is I feel like I'm pretty darn good at romanticizing my just everyday life, whether that's bringing in fresh flowers, whether that is, wearing my perfume. You guys, I know I talked about this on one of the podcasts, but if you have not checked out this all natural perfume from Wild Notes, I'm going to put the link again in the show notes because it is so good. But just simple things like that, lighting or not lighting, but filling and starting my diffusers every morning, adding some fruit to my water, just deciding to make your everyday life more beautiful. I love doing that. And I especially love doing that in the summer where it's so easy. I went out the other day and just chopped off, the limb of not a whole limb, but chopped off some little branches of a tree and made the most gorgeous, free, by the way, decoration for my bathroom. Just anything like that where you feel like you're kind of honoring the beauty that's everywhere and kind of adding it to your daily life. The other thing that I love to ask myself is, what would make today feel like a gift? What would make today feel magical? And then do the thing, whether it's a tiny thing or a big thing. And I love either journaling about it or kind of asking myself that, like, even sometimes asking myself, like, for instance, it's a lot of intention and work we don't live in a town where we can order out that much. So, feeding people, I want to do that well and I want it to be meaningful. But I also wanted to make sure that I was like giving myself a break sometimes too. Like, oh, let's do something a little easier for this meal. Or, we did order out a time or two or whatever. But asking yourself, how can I take good care of myself today? What would make today feel like a gift or a miracle? Long story short, you don't need someone else to plan the magic. You are the magic. Let me repeat that. You are the magic. You bring the magic. And I think that giving yourself a summer reset with one powerful decision that I'm not waiting for someone else to do this. This is what I want to create for myself in these next couple of months. I love the lightness of summer. I love literally everything about it. And I want to go into it really savoring it. I don't want to get to the end of it and go, well, where did it go? I don't even remember what I did. I literally do feel like I lived the last 10 days with so much intention that it could have been a full summer. So just decide to do that. Decide to do that for the next week. I'm going to create my own little version of summer camp for myself or for my kids or for my grandbabies or whatever. Number 2 is to really reignite your desire. And what I mean by this is so often we're settling for things that kind of distract us or numb us out. And we're not really choosing on purpose. We're not really thinking to ourselves, what do I really want to create? What's my heart longing for? Um, and and I think desire kind of can get a bad rap, but I do think it's sacred and I do think it's God given. And I think it can often get just buried underneath of us being so busy, being exhausted. We kind of stop dreaming, we stop longing. We feel guilty if we, have these desires or if we long for more. But what I want you to know is I do believe that desire is divine. It's how God whispers to us. And if we're feeling that sort of numbness or that distractedness, that's just a signal that we need a little reset. So, how can we give ourselves a reset in this area? I would love to see you create a desire list. What would feel so creative, so nourishing to you? What would feel just so inspiring to you? And, I dare you to list out 20 things that would spark your desire for the summer. One of the things that I decided to do is read this summer. So I have 3 new books. I am reading, I just started again, The Red Tent. I read it years ago. I love this book. So I picked that one up again. I have been reading, I'm probably about halfway done with Theo of Golden, which my dear friend Carrie Hunt got for me. And she wrote me the sweetest note in there. You guys, I could die. By the way, I'm going to do that. I'm going to send a book to someone and write the sweetest note in the front cover of the book. That was so precious to me that she did that. So what could you read this summer? I can't wait to have my books out on the screen porch. I didn't do much reading in the last week and a half because I did a lot of chatting and connecting and holding babies. But reading is definitely on my list for my porch activities. Maybe you make a playlist that makes you feel like you're 25 again. Maybe you go, like we live on a lake, but maybe you go to a creek, or maybe you live on a lake or a pool, get your feet in water, like give yourself some kind of refreshing activity like that. The other thing that I really want to do, you guys, is do some watercolor painting. I did some watercolor painting in the fall, but that would be so fun to do on the porch again. I love finding good watercolor videos. That just sounds like such a summery thing to do. Maybe a handwritten note that you write to somebody. Maybe you do what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, rearrange a little corner of your house, make it feel summery, make it feel fun. I got some really cute new glasses for all my company that was here for the summer. I just feel like after a while, you break a few and then your glasses just need a refresh. So I got the Anthropology glasses that have the little fruit on the outside, the little glass ones with the straw. And those are so fun. They really have some really cute melamine glasses right now for outdoors. So maybe, you refresh, your glassware for the summer. Maybe you decide to take a new photo every day of the week or something like that. Maybe you wear your favorite dress on an ordinary Tuesday. I did this last week. I did have a call later in the day, but when I got up that morning and put that dress on, I'm like, this feels so fun to have this really bright, summery dress on first of the day just for fun. Maybe you wake up early and watch the sunrise. Maybe you take a slow walk at sunset. Whatever it is, create your list of 20 things that would spark your desire, that would remind you like, I just love being alive. I dare you to do that. I also just suggest that you do something each day that feels like it gives you life, whether that's, for me, you guys, I have been so into my sourdough lately. I made sourdough tortillas for the first time. Why have I not made sourdough tortillas? We went through a tortilla phase when I was homeschooling my girls. We had a tortilla press. So I was always making homemade tortillas, but I've never made them with my sourdough starter, and they were insane. They were so good. I think I'm going to make some tomorrow too for the girls. But if you have a sourdough starter, just look up homemade sourdough tortillas. They were so good. And then we had kind of like a Mexican dinner with them. And then I took one after we had some leftovers and they were so good. I just wanted to keep eating them. So we spread butter on one of those warm tortillas and then put cinnamon sugar on it and rolled it up. And can I just tell you, it was probably the best thing we ate all week. It was so good. But my point is do something every day that inspires you, that brings you back to life, something that's really intentional. I also will often when it's summer like this I talked about a desire list, which was for me is kind of like the smaller things, but maybe you want to make a bucket list. Maybe you want to decide, hey, I want to take a trip here, or, I want to do this. But whatever it is, spark that desire in yourself. You can create desire, first of all, for what you already have. You create desire with your thoughts. So decide on purpose, like, oh, I want to create more desire in my relationship. I want to create more desire for reading. I want to create more desire for getting healthy. You can do that with your thoughts because thoughts create emotions. So just decide you're going to reignite that desire. The third reset that I think can be so helpful and so good, especially in the summer, is to live your legacy now. We talked about this on a previous episode, but I love this idea. We think leaving a legacy is something we leave behind. We often think about it as like we're going to leave wealth or a house or something behind. I love thinking of legacy as something that you live. One choice, one conversation, one moment at a time. And there's no better time to start than now to really think of doing this intentionally. I feel like this summer is the best time because usually it's a little slower. We have time to make these memories. We have time to decide, like, what do I want to create with my time this summer? What memories do I want to make? This is such a good time to do it. And I'm not talking here really about productivity. I'm just talking about mostly connection, the connection that you have with people. So whether that's sending a letter or a text to someone that you love, whether that's, writing a letter to, your future self, your future grandchild, whether that's hosting dinner. We had so many good dinners, but hosting the dinner that we hosted outside, just, I don't know. I'll just think about things like that so much. It just creates so much connection, I feel like, to the things that really matter, really spending time with the people that you love. I also, think about all the fun memories that we made outside. Those little grandbaby boys, you guys, did not want to be inside for 1 second. So we literally lived outside. We would, walk down and see the horses or ride the golf cart to see the horses. They had one of those little battery operated cars. We'd drive that car forever. We'd go on the boat. We would swing on the porch swing. We would play in the water table, just from one thing to another. And that outside time was so precious. I'm so thankful that I got that time with them. So how can we live it today? We don't have to wait. How can we really begin to live that legacy today? How we want to show up, what we want to create, we can do that right now. So if this message is stirring something in you, maybe, you remember a time when summer felt like something special, well, you can create that. And if you feel like, yeah, this is something that I want to do and you want a little help doing it, I want to invite you to my 3-day workshop called Rise. This is going to be in a couple of weeks, June 12th through the 14th. It really is the ultimate summer reset for midlife women. And we are going to talk about so many things. We're going to really go deep. We're going to rediscover your true identity. We're going to reignite that desire in you of the things that you really want to create in your life. And then on the last day of the workshop, we're going to build a 90-day rhythm that really reflects what you want. We're going to give you tools to create routines and rhythms that help you live a life that feels so alive, that feels so inspiring to you. So if you felt lost or stuck or a little disconnected, please come join us. We are going to bring it for this summer workshop. I cannot wait. Again, we start on June 12th. If you want to join us, you just head over to ediewadsworthcoaching.com/rise. We'll put the link in the show notes for you. But I love reminding midlife women that it's time to stop just surviving It's time to really wake up and start leading a legacy-filled life of joy and energy and purpose and impact. I feel like we can get in these ruts where we are just kind of scrolling our life away or waiting for the right time or waiting for someone else to do something or waiting for someone else to change. And I really feel like we were just meant to live a life that's rich with meaning and rich with purpose, and we can be the ones to create that for ourselves. We're actually the only ones who can do it. So this will be a life-changing workshop that I do believe will reset how you see yourself, how you lead yourself, and how you show up to your one amazing life. So I can't wait to see you there. Thank you for spending this time with us, and I hope you create some amazing routines and memories for yourself over these next few weeks and months, and I can't wait to see you at the workshop. All right, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.